What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be taking our very first flight with the DJI M300, which is by far the largest and one of the most feature-packed drones that I featured here on my channel. Now, this is DJI's flagship level enterprise drone used for search and rescue, high-level inspections, law enforcement, fire control, reconnaissance. I mean, you could literally use this drone for anything that you needed to. Over the course of the next month, I'm going to be putting this drone through its paces. I'll show you what the M300 is capable of. I'll put it in some different scenarios that the drone was built for, so for search and rescue and for inspections. But for today, I'm going to be doing the setup, so I'll be showing you how to set this drone up, and then I'm going to be taking my very first flight, which I am very eager to do. So because this drone is so massive, it fits into the case in a few different parts, which means that you have to build it every time that you want to fly it, unless you're able to keep it pre-built in, say, the back of a truck. Now, these parts include the aircraft itself, 2 pieces of landing gear to hold the drone up off of the ground, the payload, so in my case, the H20T camera, and finally, 2 batteries. This means that at its base level, the M300 has 5 different parts that come together to build the actual drone itself. Now, from there, you can continue to add different payloads and different modules, like, for example, the H20 camera, the Z30 or XT2 camera. You could also add the CSN radar up on top, but again, at its base level, 5 components come together and build the actual aircraft. Now, the assembly process is really straightforward. I begin by attaching the aircraft with the arms folded to the landing gear so that I can rest it on the ground. The mounting process is really easy, as you just kind of slide the landing gear into its dedicated spot on the aircraft and tighten the screw, creating a strong attachment that won't come loose during flight or when landing and taking off. Now, after the drone is propped up, I then extend the arms out, which uses a similar locking mechanism as the landing gear. A small piece covers the connection point and locks into place, holding the arms firmly out. There's no shake in this mounting point, so like the landing gear, it's strong enough to hold the arms out during flight. Now that the aircraft is ready, we can attach the camera underneath of the drone, which uses a similar locking method as previous DJI drones like the Inspire 2. This version of the M300 has the dual payload mounting system, so if I wanted, I could hang another camera just next to this one. The batteries are the final thing that need to be inserted, and they easily slide into the back. One thing to note is that they don't click into place. When I first took this drone out to get it all set up, I was anticipating them to click into place, but instead they're held tightly into place by this rotating lock on the back. So this drone definitely takes a little bit longer to set up than, say, a Mavic would, but the benefits that come from flying such a large drone sometimes can outweigh the portability of the actual drone itself. Okay, so that pretty much is everything you need to know about the setup of the drone. Now it's time to finally fly it for the first time. So of course, we need a little bit more room. I'm used to flying like a small little mini drone, but this again is by far the largest drone I've probably ever flown. So we'll go ahead and take her up. Wow. It's honestly quite quiet. The pitch is very low. All right, let's go ahead and take it up. So we have the H20T camera on here. So that's one of the new cameras, one of the new systems that has the thermal sensor inside of it. We'll go ahead and take this drone up a little bit higher, flip it into sport mode, and as always with our first flight videos, we will just rip right down the river. So a lot of my first flight videos, right, are trying to see like different aspects of what a drone can do, but I feel like this video has to be entirely different because this drone was built for stuff that's entirely different. Like, right off of the bat, I could mention that there's a propeller into the shot, right? But does that really matter if you're using this drone for search and rescue, for inspections? Because this is footage that isn't going to be used in like a professional movie, right? Like, this is stuff that's going to be used to save lives or, again, to perform inspections. So the fact that the propeller's in the shot really doesn't even faze me whatsoever. Now, we have 3 different cameras on here: the wide camera, the zoom camera, and the infrared camera. Transmission is holding up beautifully. We're about, let's see, telemetry, a little bit different here. The telemetry, where is it at? All right, so my altitude right there is to the right. We're right at about 400 feet. It's strange, I can't see where my telemetry is. It's a little bit difficult to read. Oh, okay, I guess back there it says from the home point, 3,051 feet. So this interface is a little bit different here. And it is holding up very nicely. So at about a half a mile away, I can see it perfectly too. It's such a big drone. All right, so we'll spin it back around. Actually, you know what? Instead of spinning it around, let's flip over to the zoom camera and see if we can see ourselves. So We're using the wide angle camera right now. Again, we have infrared and zoom. If we switch over to the zoom camera, okay, so we're only at 5x. Let's go ahead and zoom way in. Tap on the screen, 10x. We're gonna be able to see ourselves perfectly. Oh, look at that. There's a little like augmented reality home point as well. So there's a little H. So that's nice. There we are. We'll keep zooming all the way in. All right, it's a little bit hard to control when you're all the way out here. Check that out, man. 200x zoom, there I am. Let's see, I'll hold up some fingers. I'll hold up 5 fingers. It's a little bit blurry, but man, still, that is very impressive. For being a half a mile away. All right, let's zoom out. We'll bring it back to like 20x. So it looks like at around the 20x mark, that's when our optical zoom runs out, and then we start running into a little bit of digital zoom. So let's see, we'll zoom out a little bit further, and we'll fly with the wide camera. Flying with the zoom camera just is not a good idea. All right, so bringing it back. Now, typically with these first flight videos, like I try to fly down near where the trains are, I fly around the buildings and all this stuff, but I feel like with this drone, first of all, it's expensive and I don't want to risk crashing it, but also like that's not what it was built for, right? It's almost built with that zoom camera to sit stationary in certain areas and almost act as like an eye in the sky. Now, the flight time on this drone with no payload is like 55 minutes, which is absolutely insane. And the flight time with the payload that I have on it, the H20T, I think is around 46 minutes. So you get a lot of flight time out of this drone. I don't think we're gonna be flying it for this long on this first flight, but we're bringing it back here. We're just in the normal mode, flying at 37 miles an hour. All right, I'll flip it into sport mode. Let's give it a go. Man, now we're really cruising, 48 miles an hour. All right, let's slow her down. Slow her down here. So I can say that like from all of the DJI drones that I've flown, this one, I'm not gonna say that it feels the best, but it feels like different in a sense that it's so big that it's not as nimble, I would say, but it certainly is very, very stable, very solid in the sky, which is something you want when you have a drone this big. All right, so we'll test out this zoom camera again, and then afterwards we'll take a look at some of the infrared stuff. So let's see if we can zoom in down on this clock tower. So, all right, there we are. Let's see, what time is it? We'll zoom in a little bit further. Now see, this is really cool. So from here, I can use the laser rangefinder inside of the H20T and see how far away this clock tower is from me. So we'll tap on range in the top left corner. And let's see, where does the range show? Oh, okay, so the range on the left side there, it shows us that our range from the clock tower right now is 2,284 feet. Now let's try and put it on like the street in the back here. Let's see, it's a little bit tough to control. 2,287. Let's see, it says not available. It's probably trying to calculate. Okay. Maybe we'll have to recalculate, but still, this is really impressive that it's able to tell me accurately how far away that is. Oh, and look, it's also showing the longitudinal and latitudinal points of where this clock tower is at. So what's really cool is that because the drone knows where it's at in space, it knows its height, it knows its distance, it knows its home point, it has all this information, it's then able to tell how far away it is from this specific point and give you the longitudinal and latitudinal point. That is very impressive. Okay. Let's jump back over to the wide camera, and now let's take a look at this infrared camera. So we, of course, have a bunch of different color palettes. Looks like we are on the gray scale, or the white hot right now. Man, that shows a lot of detail. Also, what I like is it kind of has a more punched-in field of view. So with like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, the field of view of the thermal camera is a little bit wider, it seems. And the reason that I like this is because you can stay further away from the subject, but still get a nice, clear, crisp view using this camera. I wonder what the exact focal length is. Let's see, if we can drop down the IR. No, you know what, we're going to... Can we change the color palette? Yeah, right up here in the top. Let's see, we'll use something like iron red. Yeah, there we go. So check that out. We'll come down and fly a little bit closer towards us. And we're flying directly in the middle of the day. Look at that. Nice and crisp. I mean, you can even see the detail down on the grass. And we're, what, 330 feet high. Nice. Let's kind of look over actually towards the highway, and we'll be able to see like the wheels of the cars heating up. Yeah, look at that. So of course the wheels touching the ground, creating that friction, are going to be hotter than the actual vehicle itself. So the thermal camera is nice in a sense that, again, it's crisp, it's sharp, it's clear, but I like that focal length. It's a little bit more zoomed in than something like the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced is. Also, we can do a split view here, so if we wanted to split. So now we're looking at the zoom camera and the thermal camera. Look at that. All right, here, if we tap on wide. So we go to wide and then infrared, split view. I wonder how I can toggle both the wide and the infrared. Whatever, that's going to be something for another day. A topic for another video. The infrared camera is nice and sharp though. And what's great is that, oh, look at this. Okay, look down at the map. So I have the laser rangefinder turned on, and it's creating a small little crosshair on the map showing where I'm pointing at. And look, I'm pointing right on the highway. It's got the red crosshair on the highway. That's really incredible. Wow, look at that. And it shows our range, 430 feet away. Let's turn the rangefinder off. And then, yeah, so that little red dot would go away. All right, so let's see. Let's try something. Let's put the map on our main screen. A little bit laggy. By the way, the controller for this, I mean, nothing brand new. It's basically a smart controller, but it's an enterprise version of the smart controller that has like an external battery on the back, which is just awesome. Okay, so let's go to the camera first. We'll go to zoom. We'll spin it way around. Actually, let's get oriented with the wide camera. Let's put it all the way down on this bridge. We'll zoom in. Nice. Now we'll tap on range, turn on the rangefinder. It shows that the range is about 3,600 feet away. We'll go to the map now, and look at that. Okay, so it seems like the rangefinder is kind of going in and out. It's almost saying that's a little bit too far. But look, there's the red crosshair. The red crosshair is popping up. So I'm interested, once I finally get some more time with this drone, to figure out how this rangefinder works and how it can be beneficial for having on a drone. Let's see, let's try something maybe a little bit closer. Or maybe we have to put it on more of a solid object. Let's put it up here. There we are. It seems to be giving us a more precise range now. There we go, it's not really jumping all around. So there's that red crosshair, and it shows exactly where we're pointing at. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let's flip back over to the wide camera. Let us fly a little bit further down the river here. So like everything you'd want from a drone, speed, range, camera, like this drone has it. I mean, having everything all built into that single H20T payload is great. I mean, we have 3 different cameras at our disposal: zoom, wide, infrared, which is perfect for inspections, which is perfect for surveillance, perfect for search and rescue. Let's turn the rangefinder off. Okay, let's see if we can see the text down here on the screen or on the side of the building. I'm sure we can. At 20x, we have our full optical zoom. Look at that. That's nice and crisp. Now again, all 3 of these cameras are recording simultaneously to the SD card, and the SD card is actually located on the camera itself, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so punch that back out. Go to the wide camera. Nice. Now, all right, here's the real test. Let's fly up and see if we can see the skyline. So there's the Philly skyline right there. Let's punch into our zoom camera. Look at that. Wow. Oh, that is a lot more crisp than I expected. Oh my gosh. I don't even think that the rangefinder would work because we're so far away. Let's see. We'll try the rangefinder. Let's see if we can find the range from us to the building out there. Nah, it's a little bit too far away. Let's see. Can we do this closer building? Nah, let's see. Can we do these even closer buildings here? Yeah, there we go. Now it's working. So it shows that we're about a mile away from those buildings. So I guess that's pretty interesting. I mean, you could put the drone up, you could face it down towards a subject and see exactly how far away that subject is. And also it shows it on the map. That's really awesome. All right, we have some more zoom to play with here though. We'll turn off the rangefinder and let's punch in even further to 20x. Oh my goodness, look at that. And again, this is all optical zoom. So this is like a nice, I think I'm shooting in 4K, a nice 4K image. It is a little bit hazy out. Look at that. Let's see, let's punch the digital zoom in just a little bit further. See, it's a little bit tough to control when you're punched in this far. Wow. I can almost see the William Penn statue in full detail. Look at that. That is incredible. And honestly, it keeps the gimbal nice and stable. It's relatively windy today. That's great. All right, let's punch out. I'm having way too much fun with the zoom camera. Alrighty, we'll switch to the wide. The wide camera is great to fly with. I mean, I feel like the zoom camera is going to be really helpful for taking photos and videos up close to things, but the wide camera is definitely a must to fly around, because if you tried to fly using the zoom camera, good luck. You can even fly with the infrared camera if you wanted. That's not too bad. And wow, yeah. I mean, I'm used to this 640 resolution from the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, but again, because of this different focal length, I feel like I can almost punch in even further. So since we've started flying, which has been for what, like roughly 13 minutes, that's when I started my recording on the right side, we now have 60% battery life. So I would assume that you could probably get somewhere around maybe 30 minutes if you're flying this drone really hard before you have to land. And that would include, like, say, a 15% buffer to land the drone before you, of course, run out of battery. So let's see, if we get down even closer to the top of this building. I'll tell you what, I actually really enjoy this interface. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I can see that there's just a ton of information. Yeah, so you have a ton of detail here, and I'm sure that the images will look even better once I get them on my computer. Let's flip over to the zoom camera, though, just to check it out. How close can we get? So, I mean, really, like, this drone is perfect to just sit there in the sky, hover, and capture photos and videos of, like, anything that you need. Look at that. I think I set my custom button. Yeah, so I can actually use my custom button to zoom in. That's nice. Let's see. Can I read the text on the side here? What's the efficiency of this air unit here? That's so impressive. And let's see. What's our range here? I'll turn the rangefinder on. We're 81 feet away, and we can still read that text perfectly. Seasonal energy efficiency ratio. That's great. All right, what do you say? We'll take it for one more rip all the way down the water, and we'll call that our first flight. Sport mode, of course. Yo, when that drone flies over, it sounds like a little mini airplane. So we're cruising at 46 miles an hour. I almost don't feel comfortable flying this fast right now on my first flight. I'm not gonna fly in sport mode. I'm gonna just fly it in normal mode for now. You get plenty of speed. I mean, look, the normal mode, we're flying at 40 miles an hour, and that's with all of the sensors active. So this drone has like 24 sensors around the entire body. It's able to see like 140 feet away from it. So you have all these sensors that aid you in not crashing the drone, which is awesome. This is just impressive, to say the least. Now, I've also got my beacons turned on. So there's a beacon on the bottom and a beacon on the top. And that's, of course, perfect for being able to spot it in low light situations. This is great. Now, you might have seen in the bottom right corner, there's also a FPV camera. So if you wanted, you could make that full screen, and it shows you your horizon level, your altitude. So this really almost makes it feel like you're in the cockpit. Look at that. The horizon is perfectly level with the actual horizon, which is really impressive. So the FPV camera could be good for like a secondary pilot to use if you have two people controlling the same drone, or if you lose that one camera, the main camera, the H20T camera, for some reason it stops working, you've got the FPV camera to work with. It looks like we have a train passing through. Check that out. So again, I mean, typically, like if I was flying my Mavic, any other drone, I'd fly down, I'd check out the train, but from up here, I can zoom in and just check it out myself. Now, I wonder if there's a way to dampen the controls as I'm flying it so that they're not as I guess, precise, or not as precise, not as touchy, not as sensitive when I am using the zoom camera, because it is a little bit more hard to control. But with a little bit of practice, I feel like I could actually control this pretty well. We have a little bit more zoom room too, 20x. Look at that. That's so cool. All right. Let's see the infrared of the train. We're a little bit too far. Nice. All right, so this drone is just blowing my mind. And again, it's like a different mindset. I can see it perfectly. It's like the biggest dot in the whole entire sky. All right, let's flip back to the wide camera. Let's zip on back here. Now, as I said, over the course of the next coming days, or the next coming one month, we'll be uploading some more videos on this drone. So I really want to see like how it fares for search and rescue, put it through some paces. I want to see how it fares for inspection use. I really want to analyze like everything that the drone can do, like its feature set, what this different software is capable of. So there's going to be a lot of information to cover about this drone because quite honestly, it's one of the most advanced systems that I would say any drone company makes. I mean, even just this pilot application is filled with so many different features and so many different things that you can change and customize. I sat down with the drone for like an hour and just was digging through the menus. And it's really impressive. Like, one of the things I was really impressed with is that for the custom buttons, I'm able to not only set each custom button to its own predefined function, but I can have different combinations of custom buttons. So I can like press 2 buttons at once and that does a different thing. So that's really cool. All right, let's bring it down. I gotta say, it is so smooth. For it being so big, I'm gonna back up here. For it being so big, it is so smooth in the air. And again, I mean, let's listen to the pitch of the drone. I've got a lapel mic on right now. It's not that loud. It has a nice low pitch. It's nice and responsive, but because of its size, you do have a little bit more braking distance. Nice. So like if you wanted to come to a stop, for example, the braking distance would just be a little bit longer than say that of like a Mini 2 or a Mavic. But of course, the flight characteristics of this drone is going to be entirely different. So overall, really awesome first flight. I can't wait to dive more into this drone. If you guys want to see anything specific with this drone, let me know down in the comment section below. It's going to be awesome just being able to dig through and kind of learn this brand new system. If you guys have any tips for me because I'm so new with this M300, also let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah, that was a ton of fun. Can't wait for more. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.